And this is why we need this version of Batman in James Gunn's new DCU. What's up guys, welcome back to Superhero Legacy. My name is Liam, and in today's video I want to talk about James Gunn's new DCU and his version of Batman that he wishes to incorporate in his universe. You all know that I'm super excited for Superman Legacy and pretty much every project that's coming afterward in the universe that James Gunn has announced. One that I'm especially hyped for is Batman the Brave and the Bold. Now, Batman is one of my favorite characters in all of comics. I think he's such a diverse character and he can be used in so many different ways. I've heard a lot of people say that they're not very excited to see a new version of a live action Batman in the DCU because we've had so many interpretations of this character, and I've heard a lot of other people say that Robert Pattinson's Batman should be in the new DCU. However, I still think that the Batman that James Gunn wants to bring into his universe is the best decision. As I've already said, Batman is a very dynamic character and he works well in just about any scenario or environment you place him in. He works well in team-up stories, he works well in the Justice League, he works well just being his own standalone character in Gotham, he works well as a detective. We've seen him in darker tone stories, we've seen him in lighter tone stories, he works in games, he works in animation, he works in live action. We've seen a lot of different interpretations of this character in live action. He's just a very versatile character. That's kind of the beauty of Batman. But ultimately, I'm super pumped for Batman the Brave and the Bold movie because it's giving us an interpretation of this character that I feel like we don't see as much as we should, and I feel like a lot of people aren't exposed to this side of Batman. While I know one of the biggest appeals to this character for a lot of different individuals is that he is darker, he is more brutal, he's grittier, he's more realistic, he's just a more mature character, and I get it. Batman is one of my favorite superheroes and I love him because of those reasons. However, I think there is a side to this character that some people don't give him credit for. Batman can be dark and ruthless and all of those things that Zack Snyder's version of the character was. However, we have to understand that Batman has a side to him that's very compassionate, very caring, very gentle, very father-like, very wholehearted, and that's important because this is the version of Batman that we're going to be getting in James Gunn's universe. This is the version of Batman, this is the interpretation of him that James Gunn sees and wants to bring to the big screen. Some of you already know that I deeply respect and I got a lot of entertainment and enjoyment out of Zack Snyder's version of Superman and Batman that he chose to do. However, those aren't my preferred interpretations of those characters, and I didn't always agree with the characters' philosophies and some of their decisions and actions. While yes, they can be darker, they can be more mature, and they can reflect the world that we live in today, they don't always have to be like that, and it's important to show the other pathways that these characters can take, and that's why I really appreciate James Gunn, because he's giving us a new perspective of these characters that I think we need to see. One of the reasons I am very excited for Batman the Brave and the Bold movie in the new universe is because it's supposed to be featuring a Robin, and it's supposed to be introducing us to the Bat family, which we've never seen in live action format. There are many animated movies that have Robin in it and are more deeply involved with the extensive members of the Bat family. However, I have been dying to see this in live action. This is the version of Batman that I want to see so bad because Batman is a family man. Giving us the Bat family and giving us a Robin shows us a side to him that's, inspirational, that serves as a model, that teaches others, that's more compassionate towards them. It's giving us a side of this character that is vulnerable, who doesn't just put up these walls and shields around him and keeps himself distant from other people in relationships. Instead, he is pulling people in. He is helping them out. He's giving them a place to call home, and he's giving them a family that he never had growing up. He is caring for them. He's being a role model. He's mentoring, and we need this version of Batman so much. We need to see Batman stepping into this role, being an inspiration, having an influence on other people in a more intimate way. I think it adds a layer to this character that softens him up a little bit. He works well being gritty and being brutal and being violent and all of that, but sometimes we need to show an emotional side to him, a compassionate side of him to just kind of like lighten him up a little bit. But the main reason I am super hyped for this movie is because it's not just giving us any Robin. It's not just giving us the most popular Robin. It's not giving us the first Robin. It is giving us the Robin that is Damian Wayne, the real biological son of Batman. And Damian Wayne is my personal favorite Robin. Damian Wayne was introduced in Grant Morrison's Batman run, and the reason I loved him so much is because he was so different from all of the other Robins, and what made it so much more interesting was that he was Batman's biological son. Damian didn't look up to Batman initially. He didn't like him at first and didn't want him being his role model because he was always stuck in his own way. He was raised by the League of Assassins. He was taught violence and bloodshed and aggressiveness, and he was taught to literally assassinate and kill people, which Batman shouldn't do. And so that makes a super compelling dynamic between the two and how they interact. What better way to show the moral code of Batman than to pair him up with his own biological son who has been trained to kill from birth? I also love Damian Wayne because of his personality. He's just such a big prick. He's just annoying and he's stubborn and arrogant. He doesn't work well with anybody and he can just be flat out dislikable. But that's what makes him so compelling to me, is that he is so different from all the other Robins, and giving us this version that's so stubborn reminds Bruce Wayne of what he used to be like. I also think it's cool that he's just this young, very small kid, but he's just this ruthless, aggressive fighting machine that is lethal given any sort of weapon. I was just a big fan of Damian Wayne when he came out in the comic books. There was just something about him that really appealed to me, and if you haven't seen the DC AMU, the animated movie universe, Damian Wayne is a big part in that universe, and I think they do an excellent job of showing off his personality, his character, and he goes through a lot of arc and development. So you should definitely go check out those movies because Damian Wayne is so great, and I can't wait for him to be in the live action movie.
I'm his son.
But the biggest reason I am really excited to see Damian Wayne be our Robin in the Brave and the Bold movie is because it's going to show us a side of Batman that is very important, that is not expressed enough. It's going to show us a parental side of this character. I already know that James Gunn is going to focus hard on that relationship between Bruce and Damian and that father-son dynamic. He's going to make that struggle between the two of those characters and how they interact, how their philosophies differ. He's going to make that a big theme of his movie. I already know it.
But you're letting vengeance guide your actions.
You've never felt vengeful?
Every day. You have to keep your center, Damian. You can't fight crime by becoming a criminal.
Justice, not vengeance. Justice, not vengeance.
But more importantly, it's going to show Batman stepping into this role of being more compassionate, being more father-like, being more maybe even emotional, and having those family-centric values that are important to him that a lot of people I don't think give him credit for. I think a lot of people see Batman and Gotham as this realistic take on the world as we know it, and he can be edgier and grittier and darker, but I think there's a side to this character, one who loves and isn't afraid to show that he cares for others. And what better way to show that side of him than to give us Damian Wayne, an actual son? That dynamic is just going to be so strong, so palpable. It's going to be so distinct, and it's going to give us a flair to this character that we've never seen before. I don't think that the Gotham that was developed in Robert Pattinson's Batman movie is the Gotham that James Gunn wants to bring into his universe. There's a trend that James Gunn is doing, and there's a distinct style and tone that he wants to bring into his universe. A lot of people see DC as a darker version of characters, of superheroes that we don't get to see in Marvel. However, that's not all it is. Just like Marvel isn't just about being lighthearted, Marvel has some very dark stories, and DC can be very lighthearted and fun and very family-like. But back to the point, I think James Gunn wants to imbue his universe with this compassion, this empathy, this more heartfelt style to inject into his characters and movies to make us feel more attached to them. We already know that James Gunn is super good at making us invest in characters, and I think this is the way that James Gunn is going to make us invest into his characters and his version of Batman by giving us a more family-driven Batman. Anyway, these are my quick thoughts on the upcoming Batman, the Brave and the Bold movie in James Gunn's new universe. I'm super excited for it. I know it's not coming out for a while, but still, I'm hyped. I can't wait to see this new version of Batman, and I can't wait to see Damian Wayne in live action. I know it's going to be great. I trust James Gunn a lot in his direction for DC, and I can't wait to see where these characters go next. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Please like and subscribe for more superhero content, and share your thoughts of Batman the Brave and the Bold movie coming up in the comments below. You can check out some of my other videos right over here, but for now, thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay super.